and welcome back to my Thanksgiving table. I have a treat for us today. We're making a sage butter, and this is going to be made, this you can actually make ahead, which is so wonderful. Whenever you can make dishes ahead and put in the fridge for your holiday table, whatever that holiday is, we all know how wonderful that is. And this is also a thing that you could take with you to a family get together and say, you know what? I have a really neat recipe for a compound butter for our rolls and cornbread or whatever. Why don't I bring that? All right, so that's a really greatly functional thing for this recipe. And like I said, this is sage butter. It is an herbed butter, so it is a compound butter. And we are going to take this and put our different seasonings in it and mix it all up, and then I'll show you how to store this. All right, so we have our softened butter. This is two sticks of salted butter. Most of the time, you know, if you've been watching the channel, you know most of the time I use unsalted butter. But for this one, I want the salt already in there, so I'm using salted butter, and we're going to go with 1 tablespoon, and I'm just measuring that in my hand, 1 tablespoon approximate of sage, ground sage or rubbed sage. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of thyme leaves. Now, with your thyme leaves, make sure that you get those rubbed really, really well in your hand, or put them in your mortar and pestle, but you can do them in your hand, you know, do the crush method like that. I want to make sure that they're really nicely ground, so I'm going to put them in my mortar and pestle and give them a few little cranks in there. All right, and that goes in to our butter and sage. And then my garlic powder, that's what I'm looking for. Now, on this, you can do about 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 to 1/2. Do what likes for you, what you like in your family. Some people don't really like a heavy garlic flavor, so I try to go a little bit easy on that. All right, so our garlic powder in there. Now, take your whisk, or you can do this in the mixer, also works great. And remember, we didn't put any extra salt in there because the butter is already salted. Make sure that all of that gets mixed in really, really well. Once that is all incorporated really, really well, we're going to put that out on some saran wrap or cling wrap type of paper to roll it up. So when you're doing a roll up like this, put whatever it is at about 2/3 the length of your paper, your wax paper, or your saran wrap, whatever that is. And that's going to make that process of rolling it a little bit easier for you, because that way you can make sure that you have room in your paper to roll it. All right, and guys, this little step right here, it's completely optional, okay? You can just put this in a Tupperware, put it in the fridge, and away you go. You're done. I'm going to roll it up because I kind of want it a little bit fancy for the table. We're just going to pat this, kind of form it into a log.
You know what would be so cool with this?
What?
Is like a mold.
Oh, I know.
Like
I was thinking about that.
Like a cow mold, like a turkey mold. Oh my word, like a turkey mold.
Oh, I know, right? Lindsay
that would
was
be
just
so
talking
cool.
about a butter mold, and how cool that would be is if you happen to have or find a butter mold that they're usually ceramic or wooden. I have seen them wooden. I haven't seen one in a long time, but if you happen to find one, this would be the time when you could do that, right? And so you would take the mold, and it is cold. You can even set it in the fridge to prep it and cool it. And then at this stage, you would put your compound butter into that mold, smooth the top, and set it in the fridge. When it's completely cold, you pop it out of that mold, and then you have the embossed whatever it is, your turkey or whatever it is on the top. That's really, really cool. I know. And Lindsay just thought of that, and I was thinking about that when we were talking about how I wanted to do this compound butter, how cool it would be to have a mold, but I don't have one. So if I had one, I would show you that. All right, so you see that we have our nice little log here, and we're just rolling this up. So since we don't have a mold, we're kind of making our own. So we have a log. All right, and that is going to go into the refrigerator. I'm going to set it on our nice little plate here, and that will go into the refrigerator to chill until it is completely firm. All right, so a few hours for that.